To finish your rectangle of mitered squares into a cowl, after you've added on your I-cord edging on one side and the rows of garter and I-cord edging on the other side, you will make the two short ends line up. I've pinned these together on my tiny little sample here, and I've used the pins to try to keep everything aligned, because there's no exact number in this technique, because there's different direction of stitches. These are running this way, these are running this way, so you just kind of have to fudge a little here and there to get it to work right. But you'll know right here you'll want this edge of color change to line up, and it'll look different actually on the final one, because there'll be a big square on one side and the checkerboard on the other side. So you have some more flexibility in the exact look of it. But down here, you'll want these stripes to line up as best you can. And with the I-cord edging we have here, we're going to want to mimic the knit stitching to kind of close this off. So I'm coming from inside this stitch where I did a knit 3 to bind them all off together. I'm coming over here and I'm going under 2 legs of a stitch over here, pulling that, and then I'm going to go back in here where I came out of to create the effect of a continuous line. You can see as I pull that closed. And this twists a little bit, but what you can do is do that again, where poked up here, you can come just past it on this side, come up, go under here, make another V-looking knit. Keep it in focus. And that's making that I-cord edge seem a bit more continuous. There are a lot more fiddly techniques you can use, but this one I found to be simplest. And then we're just going to go from one side to the other. I'll turn it this way now. And you can see that we have made this work to finish off. I'll change the tension on that a little bit as I go. There we go. Yeah, this is the fiddle bit. But that's the thing about knitting. If something's not coming out quite right, you can just retension. So now we want to work a mattress stitch up this direction, making the two sides seam together. So we'll go under this bump, over here under this bump, go back under this one, under this one, and then if we kind of gently pull, you see it's kind of just going zigzagging back and forth in this to fill in this space and seam together. It will show up more on these other colors, but it's a lot of color going on, so I'm not too worried about it. Because we will have stitches going in opposite directions, sometimes you will be picking up something other than this little bump. And I'm keeping this loose so I can show you what we do at the end. Okay, let me get a pull. Look at that. It's nice to do this from the right side so that you can see how it looks. If you tried to do this from wrong size facing out, like a lot of times in a sewing project, you might end up having your yarn travel to the top here by accident, and you'll see that then in the finished project. So seaming from the outside of your knits a lot of times works to hide all your seams properly. We don't have a horizontal bar anymore. We've got this space here where these stitches were picked up for the border edge. So I'm just going to kind of run it over here and then run it over here. But when I pull, it's bringing them together. And this now, I have stitches running this way, I have stitches this way. So we can just catch that cast on stitch right there. It's running this direction, but it'll still work. So let's catch that one. And then we'll catch one over here. And you don't want to go too far over, just want to catch the very edge stitch. And keep working it. We're going to work one over here. And you can do it like this, rocking it like that. One consideration when you're doing your seam though is when you finally do these pulls, you don't want to over pull because you can pucker it, but you can also just straighten it back out. So I will just continue to work the seaming, catch this one, try to catch the one opposite. I've made it from one end to the other with my seaming, and I'm at the other I-cord edge. This one that I have here, I can stop using if I want and then work that in to seam it. I'm going to just poke it through to the other side because we have this tail coming out of the other I-cord ending. We have that V right there with the yarn coming out of it. So I'm going to come over here, find a V to go underneath without splitting too many stitches. Come underneath it and go back down where I came out before. And that will mimic a continuous V line around the top there. All right, let's take a look. So I've now seamed that up nice and tidy. There's the other side where we did the picking up of stitches. So we did a pretty good job.